is going to be amazing.
All right. Well, we are live streaming on YouTube. We want to welcome everybody. We're going to get this event started here shortly. We're so glad to have you with us. Hopefully you can stay for the whole event, as we're going to have a really fun giveaway at the end. We just had a giveaway for all those who got on early to our presentation. So whenever we're ready, we'll just get started and get this show on the road. It's going to be fun.
All right, RJ, share your screen.
Yep, going there.
All right.
Okay, RJ is the man. And here we go. It's going to be exciting, everybody.
Do you see?
Yeah, we see you in the center. There you go.
All right. Well, I want to welcome everybody. My name is Susie Jackson, and we're going to be talking about nature's frequencies today and energetic health and wellness. We do this every Saturday at this time on this link. And so we're excited for all of the people all around the world who are joining us today. So let's get started with a little introduction about nature's frequencies.
Good health is not something we can buy, but something we can improve. For decades, people have searched the answers to many questions regarding our health and improving it. Do you want to have the ability to live life to the fullest? Are you interested in sleeping better at night and having more energy during the day in a natural, healthy way? What if there was a revolutionary technology that could change your life? A technology that slows the aging process of fruits, vegetables, and breads, and also assists the body in offsetting the harmful effects of electromagnetic fields and more? We introduce Nature's Frequencies, an award-winning company that manufactures innovative health and wellness products under 6 U.S. patents, with natural health and wellness solutions that assists with balancing and harmonizing the body. But how do we do this? We combine knowledge from the East with technology from the West. As far back as 6000 BC, the Chinese have believed that the body has an optimal energy flow. When this flow is disrupted, it manifests negatively by stimulating specific points on the body. The body is encouraged to correct itself. We fast forward to the 19th century, a period of exciting scientific progress in the West. During this time, Nikola Tesla was a genius before his time. This Serbian-American inventor, engineer, and physicist confirmed the existence of scalar waves. Scalar waves are composed of pure zero-point energy. This gives them the ability to store data in a substrate. But something must be able to hold the data. Enter Denis Gabor, who in 1971 won the Nobel Prize for his invention and development of the holographic method. Holography can be used to store information inside crystals. And this knowledge is combined today to help you have better health and life. When applied to the body, the unique energy field signatures of Nature's Frequencies products correct and harmonize your body's frequency to optimize your body's energy flow. When the body's energy flow is restored and harmonized, the health of the body is naturally realigned. All of this has been developed by a family company with big plans for the future. Visit our website, www.naturesfrequencies.com, to take care of your precious health with Nature's Frequencies. Inspired by Tesla, patented by us.
What a powerful video to help people quickly understand what we're all about and what we're bringing to the marketplace. So we'll go to our next slide.
Maybe we will. There we go.
Or we could watch the movie again. But we could do that too if we wanted to. Yeah, so this is Eastern knowledge combined with Western technology. And we have 6 US patents, which is quite an accomplishment. And we have more that are pending. So this is a unique technology. And we've also received awards and recognition for our technology. So far to date, we have received 15 major industry awards, including the prestigious Gold Medal Edison Award. I mentioned the 6 US patents. There are more that are pending. We've been featured in television media, specifically on Fox Business News, on the Stuart Varnian Show. And then we've also been featured in USA Today and many other media outlets for our innovations and our excellence. So this technology is exciting. It is inspired by Nikola Tesla. Nature's Frequencies has incorporated Tesla's technology and patented the process of replicating energy and frequencies from nature and then programming them into energetic health and wellness products. Nature's Frequencies USA patented technology works in harmony with our body's own innate intelligence to direct the right amount of energy to the right place at the right time and in the right amount. Now, today's problem is something that everybody on this planet is experiencing, and you can call it 5G if you like. Our bodies are energy, and every day our bodies are being bombarded by internal and external stressors, such as 5G and EMF radiation. That's what we're going to focus on today. These stressors can create and cause issues with the body's overall level of function and harmonization. And when your body's energy flow is drained, blocked, imbalanced, or interrupted, then that's when you're going to feel discomfort and other issues. And nobody wants to feel that way. So we have the solution here at Nature's Frequencies, as we have invented and patented some of the most advanced energetic health and wellness products that are designed to balance and to restore your body's natural energy flow to help your body achieve optimal health and wellness energetically. The following is a direct quote from our US patent, which is number, 10,416,690, where the earthing card emits energy tuned to the natural frequency of the earth. That is awesome. When you place the EMF shield and earthing card in your body's energy field, then what happens is your body absorbs the beneficial frequencies that it needs in the amount that it needs when it needs them to help you achieve and maintain optimal health, energy, and vitality naturally and energetically. So we have some award-winning owners to go along with our award-winning products. It's a father and son run business. Rick Hassler is our CEO and founder. He's been a successful business owner, selling his previous business as an Inc. 500 company after running that business for 25 years. And then his son, RJ, is our president and founder. RJ is the driving force behind the company, and he created and developed this technology along with his father, Rick. They're both very hardworking people. So I guess I will turn this over to the two of them.
Thank you, Susie. And thank you everyone for joining us. Today is a special day. We were asked to describe a little bit about 5G and, what you can do. So, really simple. Is 5G a problem? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's hear it from some people that are probably smarter than RJ and I. Let's hear it, RJ.
5G fifth generation technology promises faster download speeds and conveniences that most of us have never dreamed of, but will also be blanketed with a new type of radiation called millimeter waves. Health experts are warning about the rising risks with a 5G rollout.
It's not been made clear to the public that 5G won't just be another number and letter on your cell phone. It requires an entirely new infrastructure of thousands of small cellular antennas to be erected throughout cities where it's going to be installed.
What would 5G infrastructure look like? Small cell antennas could be placed as close as every third hydro pole. Scientists from 42 countries are now warning their governments about the emerging health problems associated with wireless radiation. and Canadian doctors and scientists have added their voices.
Join us this afternoon.
The most prevalent symptoms include headache, fatigue, decreased ability to concentrate, tinnitus, irritability, and insomnia. Impacts on the heart and the nervous system are also of great concern.
Dr. Rena Bray has been working at the Provincial Environmental Health Clinic for 15 years and seen the number of people suffering adverse effects from electromagnetic exposure rising.
We are concerned that the upcoming introduction of 5G will significantly increase the proximity and extent of exposure to microwave radiation in Ontarians. We predict that the number of people who develop the symptoms I just mentioned will rise in the places where 5G is first installed.
Dr. Magda Havas is internationally recognized for her research on the biological effects of electromagnetic pollution. She said that at high intensities, these waves cause intense heat and pain because sweat glands on the surface of our skin act like mini antennas.
At lower frequencies, scientists are predicting damage to eyes, loss of insect populations, which are already declining, antibiotic resistance in bacteria, and physiological effects on the nervous system and on the immune system.
Radiation from radio frequencies is classed in the same category of carcinogens as lead. One advisor to the World Health Organization said there's enough evidence that if they were to re-evaluate radio frequency radiation,
it would be placed in class 1, i.e. a human carcinogen, and governments could not possibly ignore that.
You know, one of the things you have to understand is during our lifetime, how many times were you told something's good for you? It won't hurt you. It's supposed to be good for you. And you find out later, oops, you know, we made a mistake. And they say, my bad, you know, or sorry, you have this issue now. And without naming names, I think you get the gist of that. In my lifetime, I face situations and we keep hearing people say this is good for you. I've yet to hear one study say EMF is good for anyone. So you're going to hear from doctors and practitioners a little bit about EMF, but if you want to see the problem, this is real world. This is RJ's house. He lives in Boston in a high rise. That's his Wi-Fi connections. So if you're sitting next to your computer and you're downloading a movie, not only are you getting your Wi-Fi, how many of your neighbors are you getting? RJ is getting a boatload. Every single one of these networks RJ can connect to and run his computer and run his apartment any way he wants. That means he's being hit by them. So I just wanted you to understand that take a look when you can at your Wi-Fi connections. Depending where you are, this is affecting every single person. So RJ, let's go. You know what, RJ, hold on. You're not muted.
I'm not
Before, RJ, you moved to Boston, and when you moved in, how did you feel? What happened?
I mean, you know, sleep was not so great, you know.
And what did you do when?
I went to the office, I got earthing cards, I came back and I put them in every corner of everywhere around me, surrounding my bedroom, living room, everywhere.
And how many in your pocket?
I got one in each pocket at all times, no matter what. When I'm at the gym, when I'm here, when I'm working, I always have 2 on me at all times.
All right. Well, I got to tell you, what I heard from him was insomnia. What I heard from the lady was that just reported insomnia, tinnitus running into the ears. RJ had insomnia big time when he moved in. And we're really happy to say he created a quantum field and helped himself. So let's go to the next part, Arch. Let's start with Dr. Stan. Dr. Stan's a 40-year medical doctor with a great family practice of patients that have loved him for years. He's watched people grow up. He's seen the world change. And Dr. Stan loves to do research. And he does not like to speculate. He does research. And Dr. Stan wants to know the real answers for issues to help his people the best he can. And I say he is probably one of the smartest people I know. I just called him this week to ask him his advice on something, and I value his opinion and his issue. We asked Dr. Stan to talk about 4 and 5G and tell us a little bit about it. So RJ, let's hear from Dr. Stan.
There's over 500 published studies that show that EMF damages physiology. Not all human studies, but there are human studies also. And there's two things that I think are, well, there's three things I'll mention. There's a lot of things you could talk about. The first thing is that EMF interferes with your pineal gland's ability to make melatonin. And so when that happens, you don't sleep well. So by letting this EMF hit you, especially when it's in the evening, especially if it's through the night, then your ability to sleep is impaired because you're not making melatonin naturally. So that's a really big one. And I tell people that your brain interprets EMF as if somebody's shining a bright light in your eyeballs. It can't tell the difference. It's just energy that's not supposed to be there. And so the pineal gland is being signaled, don't make melatonin yet. It's not time to go to bed yet. So that's for myself, the biggest thing. But there are other things that it does that are more subtle. One of them is that it causes the fungi in your GI tract to make hundreds of times more toxins than normal. So we have over 5,000 species of fungi in our GI tract. They're supposed to be there. They're not pathogens, but they act pathogenically when you stimulate them with EMF. They make a lot more toxins, and these toxins just don't sit there in the gut. They're absorbed and they go through the body. The third thing that happens is that it causes the balance of power to shift of the different bacteria that live in your gut. That's called the biome. And there's over 1,500 species, and they all shift in response to these energies. And 4G passes right through you. There's no blocking 4G. 5G is much more intense, but it doesn't go through as much, but it's much more intense superficially. So the both together are capable of causing quite a bit of disruption, and it will get worse.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Stan. And I got to tell you, Dr. Stan is incredibly well-versed with EMF. A family member of his had severe issues and no one can figure it out. So Dr. Stan did his research and tried to connect the dots. And let's hear from Dr. Stan how the dots got connected.
We've spoken before, and you do a ton of research on everything anyways, but you have a family member that was affected by EMF.
Yes.
So can you tell us how it affected, and obviously it's a family member and you want to help them fix, you're going to do more research. So, I would consider you an expert on EMF simply because I know you did research. So tell us a little bit about the family member, mitigating EMF.
RJ, did I freeze?
And it's a challenge to a lot of people. A little bit about that.
Well, this particular family member had been having years of slow decline in his ability to do stuff and to just having the energy to do work, having the energy to exercise without being totally wiped from the exercise. Now, this kind of a person that walks into a doctor's office, they end up with a diagnosis that says that's equivalent to it's all in your head, because you can't find anything wrong when you do the standard test that doctors do. So we discovered by happenstance that when we were camping in a place where there was no EMF, that his symptoms went away. He was back to normal. And as we drove back closer to where there was EMF, his symptoms started to come back. And we started to notice this pattern, which, after the dots were connected, then the question is, well, how can we best mitigate the EMF? And there's a lot of things you can do, chief among them being these technologies we're talking about right now, because carrying portable strategies that help to mitigate this effect on your body is crucial if you want to get better, if you're being affected by EMF. And a lot of people are. They don't realize it, but getting back to that restorative sleep thing, 40% of people or more don't sleep well, and they don't have restorative sleep. And there's a good chance that that EMF is playing a role in their lack of restorative sleep.
You know, when Dr. Stan connected the dots, to say that he knew a little bit about EMF, he actually created a Faraday cage in their house and turned the house into a Faraday cage. So this person could come back and work, loaded them up with the EMF and earthing cards, and did everything possible to help the family member. So that's kind of neat. Dr. Janine has been using our products with our patients for about 10 years. RJ and I had the pleasure of meeting her at Life University. And 10 years ago, she was concerned about 3G. And we met her. She found our EMF shield, fell in love with it, and probably done thousands of muscle tests and HRV tests, showing her patients why they need to protect themselves and how the body is weakened by EMF. Again, 10 years ago, she was concerned with 3G. Now we have 4G, 5G, and whatever's next. So let's hear from Dr. Janine.
Basically, we have all of these devices around us that communicate energetically, so to speak. You know, the Wi-Fi, the cell phones, the towers, the Bluetooth, all of these things, you can't see it. You can't feel it. Some people can feel it that are really, really sensitive. Most people can't feel it. You can't taste it. You can't hear it. However, it's bombarding us and affecting us all the time. And what happens is our bodies are frequency, our bodies are energetic. And we all know this because you might go into a room and somebody negative walks in, or somebody that's sad or that has an attitude walks in, and you can literally feel the energy of the room just, I mean, I know we've all felt that before, or, you know, being around somebody that just makes you feel tense. Well, this is what happens to our cells when we are surrounded by this electromagnetic frequency, this EMR radiation. Our cells go into a stress mode. And so what happens with them is that they kind of, the cell membranes kind of harden down. They have a hard time getting rid of their toxins, and they have a hard time taking in their nutrients. So it affects our body's function. Now, you know, the original studies that were done on cell phones, they said, oh, well, it doesn't really affect us because it doesn't, you know, heat the tissue up that much. Well, there's so many more effects that don't have anything to do with heat. There's biological effects that affect the function of our cells and our tissues. And that's what's really causing a problem. When you have these devices that emit, so anything that is hooked up wirelessly, whether it be the LTE, the new 5G, which that takes it to a whole different level. That is exponentially more toxic than what we've been exposed to. And what that's doing to us is it's really taking our immune system down, to be honest with you. That's what it does. It hinders your immune functions drastically. And so now more than ever, we've got to be super proactive. But as our phones try to communicate with the Wi-Fi, with the Bluetooth, and with the cell phone towers, there's 3 different types of radiation that it's emitting. When we have these devices on our phones, and I'm one of those people, unfortunately, I'm contributing to the statistic. I am one of those people with 2 phones. I don't go anywhere without it. I keep it on every device, the phones, the computers, the tablets, the routers, everything that I can absolutely think of. I'm gonna go through this list and make sure I haven't missed anything, because basically, when we have it close to our bodies, which we do with these, whether we carry them on our bodies or whether they're in our, you know, in our bags, they're still right there next to us. And so we're having a greater effect. So the start of it is protecting your own environment, mitigating all the devices in your own environment, and then wearing that card so that you're protected against everything else that's coming from the outside.
You know, Dr. Janine explained it best. You can't see it, taste it, hear it, and most people can't feel it, but your cells go into a stress mode. And the devices, you know, you can put an EMF shield, but your body is being hit. You physically have at least a dozen that you could connect to. So, you know, anything you got to do, you have to do something to mitigate this. And that's pretty much what Dr. Janine is talking about. So if you want to know what the problem is, this is the problem. All right. And it's not going away. Everybody thinks it's good for you. And you'll hear from practitioners, it might not be so good for you. So what's the importance of good sleep? Let's hear how important good sleep is, because we're hearing some issues with sleep.
Only that, but our bodies were meant to be in harmony with the earth. That's just the bottom line. You know, we stop that by wearing these shoes with these rubber soles so that we're never reconnecting with the earth. We're never having that ability to diffuse all of that stress from our bodies and to soak up those negative ions from the earth, which are healing and beneficial. And so by wearing this earthing card, it's like we're walking around barefoot all the time. Now, who doesn't feel good walking around barefoot, especially on the beach, right? Have you ever gone to the beach and came back feeling horrible? Ever? No. So it's like having a little bit of the beach on your body, in your pocket every day. So of course you have better balance and you feel better and you sleep better. And sleep is huge. I cannot stress enough the importance of good quality sleep. And this is one of the things, these energies that we're being bombarded with are one of the major factors that disrupt our sleep and that cause people to have a hard time falling asleep, staying asleep, tossing and turning, because our body is in stress. It's like, what's going on? I'm trying to rest. And so this really helps to diffuse that. And once you're getting good quality sleep, you're going to look better, you're going to feel better, you're going to function better.
You know, sleep is important. And I got to tell you, I got Dr. Janine has lots of devices that she tests and uses. And one day she purchased a device to check her recuperation of sleep. And what do we have, Arch? Oh, I like this. What happens if you add all these Wi-Fis, all these towers, you don't get sleep? And we're hearing that from a lot of practitioners. Insomnia, we heard it from like just about everybody. And Dr. Stan explained it great. It affects the pineal gland that thinks like you have lights on in your eyes. Now that's not good for sleep. So how do you rectify this? So I got this text from Dr. Janine. One day, randomly, she calls me all excited. She has a new device with an HRV in recovery. And she goes, "You're not going to believe this, Rick." And I get this text randomly. I got to tell you, just got this new device to test my sleep and recovery. With our products, she went from a 55% recovery to a 94 and 95% recovery. And many, just, you know, many of our practitioners use devices like HRV and special computers to test to see how they're doing, what their protocols are working. And they test it on themselves. So I got this from Dr. Janine. I loved it. She was all excited. And anyways, now we're going to Tim Coleman. Tim Coleman is an amazing quantum energy practitioner in California. He gets referred the toughest patients that most practitioners just cannot help. Truly, in terms of trauma and stress, he sees the most severe cases. Tim is incredibly busy. It takes about 4 months to get an appointment with him. And about 3 years ago, Tim tested our products and kept track. And I think many of us have heard him. He gave up at 45 to 0. Every one of his 45 patients benefited from our products. And he said it before many times. He goes, "Rick, 45, 50, I stopped counting," because he always tracks any product he recommends. But anyways, he loves our products, and you need to hear from Tim a little bit.
EMF. Just to give you an idea, I have this really neat computer where I can bring somebody into my office. I hook up similar like a blood pressure cuff onto their arm. And now I have complete access to their body. It's like an IT person, going to your computer. But I can determine from the body standpoint, what are the main stresses? What are the priorities of the body? What can the body handle? For example, if somebody comes in and they might have heavy metal toxicity, but they'll tell me, no, they're not ready for that. Or, maybe their liver and their kidneys are just not up to par right now. So I can get a lot of information. I know we were talking the other day, I can look at anything. And I can look at your spinal fluid. I can look at every nerve of the eye, anything. Well, what's interesting is, I've had this machine for probably 10, 11 years and I do all kinds of things. I can imprint frequencies into homeopathic remedies. I can infuse them into a person's body with lasers, a lot of neat stuff. So what I've noticed though, I have this category in the computer under toxicity. Now that'll tell me what are the main stresses to the body as it relates to toxicity. what I've noticed ever since this whole quarantine thing, there's been a dramatic increase in EMF exposure, because it'll tell me right there, EMF exposure is the body's top priority, top stress. And I'm seeing a lot of really strange symptoms that maybe I would see once in a while. And now it seems like almost everyone's coming in with just random things like ringing of the ears, they can't sleep, even kids, panic attacks, just energy issues. And what it is a lot of this EMF exposure, because where are people going to go? You got kids now on their tablets, they're in front, you playing video games, mom and dad, they might be working from home. Everybody is in this Wi-Fi soup and they're just getting microwaved. And just to give you an example, I just had a client, she texted me because her child is now having panic attacks, just can't go to sleep, she's scared. Well, after investigating and talking to her, she just installed a new security system, Wi-Fi security system with the camera and the whole alarm and everything. And it was having an effect on her little girl.
Tim's computer's pretty neat. And I was talking to him one day and he said, Rick, everything flipped. Toxicity number one became stress from EMF. And his computer is like, I've never seen anything like this. He goes, when the world went home, and this was like over a year ago, when the world went home, Wi-Fi went up, 5G came out, and it was a Wi-Fi soup. And RJ, what do we have next?
EMF.
This is Tim's Wi-Fi soup. You're living in it. RJ's living in it. He is the typical person of Wi-Fi soup. And if you look at kids, they're all like this. They live on the device. Kids are absolutely living on it. I can't even explain, but they're all living on it. So we live in a Wi-Fi soup. Oh, the solution, this baby. Here we go, in your pocket, in a quantum field. We love the earthing card. RJ, what do we have next?
More earthing card.
The more earthing card. Yes, it's manufactured under 4 US patents. And this is, we are the inventor. And just for the record, we always make things better. So as 5G came out, the latest, greatest addressed it. So the EMF Shield and earthing card is our latest, greatest card. We love it. We make it in the US and we love this card. So anyways, let's hear from Dr. Janine a little bit. She'll tell us about the earthing card.
One of the products that I use and recommend every day is Nature's Frequencies Earthing Card. The Earthing Card is formulated with earth grounding frequencies to balance, harmonize, and restore the body's energy to bring the mind and body into balance, while also providing EMF protection. The Earthing Card enhances strength, endurance, balance, energy, vitality, and sleep, as well as also providing relief from stress, worry, tension, discomfort, weakness, and fatigue to help achieve and maintain optimal health and well-being. The Earthing Card also harmonizes and enhances foods, water, skincare, health supplements, and more. For best results, keep the Earthing Card on your body in your energy field within about 2 to 3 inches of your body. You can also use the Earthing Card to harmonize, energize, and enhance water to use on your hair, skin, plants, and more. Optimal use is 1 year. Many people start to experience the results within a few minutes to a few hours, and more benefits and results with continued use.
You heard Dr. Janine mention just some of the many benefits. Energy, vitality, helps with sleep, stress, tension. These are really beneficial in today's world. So RJ, let's flip this. And Tim Coleman, our quantum energy specialist. Let's hear what Tim has to say.
Personally, and what I recommend everybody is the EMF or the earthing card. That is absolute foundational, because you need that foundation for everything else, and it's going to enhance anything else you do, any other products, even besides the products, So the earthing card is number one, in my opinion. And then from there, the EMF shields, that's absolutely foundational because that provides additional protection and balance for your body. And, you know, again, we're being inundated with electrical pollution. I put them on my phones, tablets, my Wi-Fi modem.
You know, Tim described it best. It's foundational. It enhances every one of our products, and it enhances supplements and anything else too. So it's really not a bad thing. Arch, Dr. Wai Ching. Dr. Wai Ching her family has been the doctors for kings, queens for 100 years. Her family is medicine and dedicated to healing and our healers. They are amazing. Dr. Wai Ching is from Malaysia, and I just talked to her. She's in Ecuador setting up a medical retreat, and she's a wealth of information and absolute pleasure. And she's a guest speaker for medical conferences around the world. So let's hear from Dr. Wai Ching, Arch.
It works more or less. This is how the quantum field works. Well, it works with that vortex energy that is emanating from anything and anyone, from us. We are emanating actually 1 to 3 meters very strongly, our chi bodies, and we are always emanating. So why are we emanating love? That frequency is higher, it's 432 hertz when we are emanating love. And when we emanate anger and sadness also, which is also shall we say it's valid because we are human beings, that we emanate different emotions and different frequencies. So what we do is that we, in this way of feeling good, we want to come back to the center. Right? You all agree when you're centered in your heart, in your mind, in your body, you feel a general sense of equilibrium, equanimity, and stability, that we feel good about ourselves and the world and other people. So that is more or less our goal in this, what we call homeostasis. It's not really, it's homeodynamic. So a lot of things are happening in our field. So in the quantum field, in what is known as quantum physics, there's a state there that is complete silence, complete potential, and nothingness. And this is oftentimes where we want to arrive at when we are at peace. Now, we can't be that all the time, but we can aspire to do that. And how do we do that is that we can have lots of practice like breathing and releasing tension in our bodies. But a little bit of help goes a long way with your beautiful products. I must say, I am so happy to have found you and RJ and your products that can help so many people, my clients, and I'm very grateful for that. Now, how it works is that because we're emanating, these products are also emanating, which is frequency products, right? Or new frequency products. So they too are emanating frontwards and backwards and to the sides. So what happens is that as we also come together as people, and I can feel the energy actually coming from all of you here, there's so much love and so much openness and lots of smiling faces as I'm looking at the gallery. So we are also emanating and receiving, and the speaker can really feel the difference when people are actually listening or they're just, distracted. So we are actually in a field of information, knowledge, and that information is embedded in our bodies and in these products. So like this one, 7.83, we know that it is embedded with the 7.83, which is a balancing frequency of the earth. And a lot of us now, as with other times, we sometimes get imbalanced. So when we have this around us, it really balances us. And you know that my other tip is to put it on the lower Tantian. It just grounds us. Now, in a home or an office, I'm doing a lot of corporate consulting now, is that this in every corner of the room can make such a difference to the environment, as your friend found out. So just one, but even better if there are 2 or 3, and anywhere else in between. because what actually happens, it starts to vortex out. And this, I thank Dr. Carlos Orozco, who wrote a book called Coherence. It's on Amazon. And he has done tests on these quantum fields through these energy devices. So it vortices, the vortexes goes into the center of the room, right? And it also bounces off. So it's always dynamic, but there is a way of this swirling, just like we swirl. When we swirl with love and joy, it goes out, it emanates to everybody else. So when we come into a space that has been intentionalized, either by a practitioner or with a product, people feel it. They feel the harmony. They feel the peace. They feel the inexplicable something there, a kind of a comfort level. And so this products bring comfort to people.
You know, creating a quantum field is huge. RJ did it in his apartment in Boston. I am in one now. You just feel better. And I have to tell you, she explained it well. When you're in a quantum field, your body is harmonized and it just does really good things for you. So let's go see what we have next, Arj. Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe is an oral surgeon and has been practicing for over 35 years, and his patients come to him for everything. He helps people everywhere, on a plane, at a football game, in Costco. I love Dr. Joe's stories. And any place, you name it, he helps people. So, you know, over the years, RJ and I have received many thanks and compliments, but I have to tell you, the one compliment that is incredibly special to us came from Dr. Joe. He operates on his feet for sometimes 7 to 10 hours, and he loves what he does. And one day he said, you know, Rick, I got to tell you, I probably would have had to retire if it wasn't for your products. I love my patients, but I care about them and I need to be the best possible surgeon I can be. And your products enable me to keep working. And I got to thank you for that. And he did. And of all the thanks that we've got from people over the years, that one honestly felt the best because he's doing what he loves, helping people. And Dr. Joe helps people everywhere. And he can tell you 100 stories of a different place where he helps somebody with this, that. It's a riot. So Arj, let's hear from Dr. Joe.
I carry 4 earthing cards with me everywhere. 3 in my pocket, 1 on my cell phone. In my bed at night, I have 4 cocktail glasses filled with energized water, but I put an earthing card in each glass in the corners of my bed. And it makes me sleep better. The other thing that makes me sleep better is I put 6 of the refrigerator freshness cards on top of my mattress underneath my sheets. And I also put an earthing card in the pillow and a freshness card on the pillow. And I'm telling you what, I sleep like a baby. Without these products, and it's a combo, guys, the combo of the earthing card and the refrigerator freshness card when you're sleeping, that makes me sleep like a baby. Well, the combination of products, I call it the trilogy. The earthing card, the nitro, and the relief, okay? The threesome work in concert together, guys. They work in concert together, okay? Now, could you get away with just the nitros? Yeah. Could you get away with just the nitros and relief? Yes. Is the card absolutely 100% necessary? I'm going to say yes. So if you're going to invest your time and money in a company like this, you want to use all these devices.
I love Dr. Joe's trilogy because our products do complement themselves, and the earthing card helps your body. You know, Arj, one of the things that we just did, we were on a call, RJ and I, the other day, and I had the guy do this, really simple. Stand up, do a range of motion test. He turned. Then I said, okay, take the earthing card you just got. Turn. He goes, you're kidding me. I go, put it down. He goes, whoa. I went like 25% further. I go, your body functions better with an earthing card, without it. And you're going to hear about stress to the body. If the card, and it's instant, And anybody can do this. We also have all types of muscle tests, balance tests. It's on the web. Dr. Janine's done it. Many of our doctors have done it. But that's the easiest one, range of motion. So, Arch, what do we have next? These are just some quick uses. Put the earthen card in water fountains. It works great. Any running water picks up frequencies, and the earthen card emits awesome frequencies. So any place that you have water running. If you have a water cooler, I refill it by running it over the earthen card, and then I just keep the earthen card on top. Or a refrigerator. It's a great place. You fill up water from your fridge, just put the earthen card there. This is really the most important thing you can do. Create a quantum field by put 4 earthen cards in the corner of the room. You can do this in your office. If you're in an office 8 hours a day, whether it's your home or a real office, it makes your office just a quantum energy field of good energy. So this is really important. Dr. Joe did this, ran water over the earthen card into 4 glasses and placed under the corners of the bed. It's a beautiful thing. Now, the router. The router has, this is my router. It has EMF shields, and I sit an earthen card on it. And the router is broadcasting frequencies. And that really is helpful if you can broadcast some good frequencies, not just the ones your body don't like. All right, so now we've heard about the problem. We have a solution, and a lot of people want to know, well, give me some science. Well, let's start with number one. Our family is the US manufacturer and the US patent holder and the inventor of the incredible earthen card. And in the patent, it clearly spells out earthen cards emits energy tuned to the natural frequency of the earth. You've heard a lot of people talk about earthing and how tough it is to do nowadays. And guess what? The earthen card is tuned to the frequencies of the earth with many other beneficial frequencies. So this is huge, and nobody else invented it. If you want to see science that you don't understand, read our patent. It's public, but it's there. Now, laboratory testing, bovine testing. Let's hear some bovine testing and hear what bovine testing is and energy testing.
The bovine value is a measurement of the life energy, of the vital force in products and in people. And it's called after a physician in France. He was between the First and the Second World War responsible for the quality of the food of the French soldiers. And he was an expert in doing radiesthesia, just measuring the bovine value. And for every fruit and vegetables, he knew after 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 days what the vitality, the bovine value of the vegetables were. So when a bunch of food was delivered at the military, he could easily measure the vitality, and then he knew, it is okay for another week, for another 2 weeks.
So Frank, your procedure was simply run water over the card and test it.
Yes, that's right. I took some fresh water with a bovine value of almost 90,000. You see it in the second column.
Yeah.
Bovine value fresh water. And I just poured the water over the earthen card. I collected the water. I did a new measurement, and the bovine value was almost 41,000. I was very surprised because the card is very little, very small, and the time it's running over the card is very little. So this is a very big positive step in the increase of the bovine value.
Okay, what makes this incredible is he tests huge devices and water systems for cities. And he's like, this is incredible. You just ran water over this little tiny card. I just ran water over it. People spend like millions to try to increase the bovine. He goes, this little card did it. He was shocked. Now, more important, go back, Arch, is number 6 on this. All right. This is what you really have to see. Just by running water over the card. Can you go back one slide, Arch?
Yep.
Oh, it was at the end. Sorry. Perfect. Thank you. The EMF load in the water, just by running water over, went from a 2.89 to a 1.99. That's like a 30% decrease in seconds. Now, why is that important? Your body is 70% water. So if we can decrease water just by running it over the card, this card is helping your body. So that he was amazed at that number because, as he said, we just ran it over the card. Usually they sit in these systems and then he retests. He goes, I just ran it over the card. This is a little card. So anyways, I had to explain that. And now we're going to go to one of our favorite practitioners in Paris. Marie has been testing with every type of energy device. She's a quantum energy specialist. She tests with every type of device you can imagine. She's been doing bovine testing. She's the first one to say, RJ, Rick, you have to bovine test this. I did it. The results are incredible. So let's hear it from Marie in Paris.
And the earthing card and the patches. It's like you don't have to worry like, oh, maybe the energy is low today because it was close to my telephone or because it was this and that. The energy is still the same. The vibration is still the same. Every time I can test the food freshness card or the earthing card, it's the Bovi value is still the same.
Understand. And she's an energy specialist that tests things that always go like this. She goes, it stays the same. Also, if you heard a couple weeks ago from Marie, her son's earthing card went through the wash. And she called me up and said, Rick, I didn't think it was going to work. Went through the wash and the dryer in his pocket. She goes, no energy products work. She goes, Rick, I tested the card. It works fine. And she goes, it's 60 degrees, that's Celsius, which is really hot. I absolutely didn't expect the card to work. I tested it. It worked. I love these products. Anyways, let's go to Dr. Al. More laboratory testing. I don't want to keep everybody crazy with this, but Dr. Al works with Dr. Joe. And as Dr. Joe calls him, he's simply the smartest person Dr. Joe knows and a genius. And after you speak with Al, Dr. Al, you'll understand he is a pleasure. He loves to do research and testing. So let's hear from Dr. Al a little bit about HRV testing, what it is.
You know, everybody knows that hearts beat, and the heart tissue itself just has one beat rhythm to it, one frequency. And if you were to have some heart tissue, and that's been done over and over, and you had it in a culture in a lab, it would actually beat on its own, and it would keep one solid rate. Now, as most people understand, you know, if you're going to do a task or run up the steps, your heart has to start beating faster to support the body. If you're going to do some heavy thinking, you know, your body's going to need to increase the blood supply to the brain. Your heart will beat faster. If it's time to relax and go to sleep, your body slows the heart down. So that input, there's two big parts of the nervous system, and that's a sympathetic and parasympathetic parts of the nervous system. And the one speeds up the heart when you need to adapt to the environment, to adapt to stresses, and the other one slows it down. So what the HRV testing is doing, a lot of people understand, you know, the doctor, when he looks at your EKG, he's diagnosing how exactly the heart's working internally. But the HRV, the heart rate variability, isn't trying to look at the heart itself necessarily. It's looking at the whole balance of your health in your body, and it's looking at that sympathetic and parasympathetic, that speed up and slow down mechanism, and it's looking at its effect on the actual heartbeat itself, okay? And that gives you an idea of how everything's integrated together health-wise in your body, and it shows you how your body's adapting to the environment, able to change.
All right. We'll be quick. Sorry about the length of this, but there's so many important things that we're trying to show you that, you know, HRV testing, this testing is a culmination of many, many, many tests with the HRV. And this is a quick test on stress to the body, which is really important. So let's hear this, Arch.
This is energy resources.
Energy resources.
Basically, in your energy resources, it's how much energy you have available to you. And obviously, the more resources available, the better you're going to function. So these, again, are the same stressful conditions in the body, but in this person, it went from 170 to 202, or a 41% increase in a half an hour. That's huge. Again, any increase is good. And Dr. Al, can you explain the balance a little bit about this?
Yes, exactly. That's what I was hoping you'd ask.
Yeah.
What you basically want to see is you have like on the left, you have energy in, and the right, you have energy out. And you want to be able to see the body putting in energy, and then extracting energy out as a result. And when you look at those two diagrams, the red and the blue, instead of having a real thin spike like a tower, like you see on the first one, you actually want to see them more equalized, symmetrical, side to side together. And you'll see that it's more even. On that one on the left, if you look at the top of the tower, you got like two blue blocks on the left and only one red, coming out. Over on the other side, then you got a couple red coming out. So meaning you're actually extracting more energy out in ratio of how much energy you're putting in.
Arch,
Thank
real
you.
quick.
Just so everyone understands, our bodies are energy, and we can't stress the importance of having energy available. Well, and you know what would really be a good question? How important is energy to all your functions, Dr. Al? Like, if you have no energy, how's your body going to function?
Well, that's great you asked that, because and I deal with energy in a few different ways in healing, and even with the laser treatments that we do. And when I tell people about having more energy, the first thing, if a person's not versed in physiology, they just think about energy like how you feel, like feeling like moving around. But every cell in your body needs energy to work, okay? So we're not talking about just like a heart beating or muscles moving. Every single process, whether it's your brain thinking, whether it's your body making hormones, that takes energy. So the better that your cells are able to generate that energy, then the more they're going to be able to maintain that balance against the stresses from the environment and keep you healthy. And so that's tremendous when actually you can see an improvement in energy resources. That means that your body is actually better able to heal itself.
All right, real quick, Arch, just so everybody knows, this is 30 minutes with the card. Look how much more energy was available to that person in all of his cells. These changes are enormous. And this is HRV testing. And let's go to the next one real quick, Arch. Stress. Stress is a factor to everybody.
Index is basically your stress index. All right. And in this chart, it went from 152 to 108, or a 29% decrease in stress within a half an hour. All I'm going to say is, Dr. Al, we've all heard about chronic stress and what stress does to the body, inflames things. Can you explain why you want to lower stress to the body?
Well, sure. And again, this stress and tension, a lot of times when people hear stress and tension, they're thinking just psychologically. And we're talking inclusively. So stress mentally, but also that stress where we said like there's challenges coming in from the environment, and your body has to maintain that balance. So you're never going to have an environment that's absent of all stress, but you're going to have to face stress. But you want your body internally to be able to deal with it. But if there's anything you can do to actually reduce that amount of stress coming in, like reduce the EMF and things like that, then it's going to make an easier job for your body to be able to maintain that balance and maintain that homeostasis. And then it'll have more of its energy that it's making available to deal with other things internally, rather than just trying to fight off those invading stresses.
All right, we just have one more of the HRV. The study has like 10 different tests, but this is important because this is your spine. So Arch, let's hear it.
How the spine affects the body, the nervous system, and what you're seeing, basically.
Yeah, well, again, the bottom line is, as we talked about, the body's always trying to balance itself and maintain a homeostasis. And basically, even in Gray's Anatomy, the book used in every medical school in the world practically, they tell you that every single function is controlled or augmented by the brain. The brain constantly sends messages out to the different parts of the body to coordinate and control everything. And beyond the scope of this, they even know now that it's even influencing free-floating cells like blood cells that aren't directly connected to a nerve. But anyway, how does it do that? Well, the brain sends messages down through the spinal cord, which is inside the bone of the spine. And through the sides of the spine, you have 31 pairs of spinal nerves coming up. And at different levels, those nerves go to different organs. So the brain's constantly sending messages out through those areas, and it's going out controlling the different parts of the body. Well, on the graph here, you can see basically an improvement, and it's showing you by monitoring the function of the different organs, which area of the spine that actually corresponds to, that's showing more balance. And you can see that it's actually improving even from the yellowish gold color to a green color throughout most of the spine there.
Dr. Al did a lot of these tests with the HRV, and we had our total results, which were absolutely incredible. The averages, total power increased 67%, energy resources increased 41%, overall health, which is huge, increased 36%, harmonization of the body. You've heard a lot of our practitioners say it harmonizes the body. Almost everyone mentioned how it harmonizes. 102% increase, a decrease in tension of 18%. Why is that huge? Because we can't, like Dr. Al said, you can't wipe out all the stresses to the body because it's there. So, and there's also a biological age of the body. One person that we showed on another one, they decreased 10% within 30 minutes. That's your biological clock. Their clock went from 34 years old to 31 years old within 30 minutes of holding the card. Okay, that's huge. The benefit is huge. So these are just the summaries, and sorry it kept so long, but I had to do it because we needed people to know it's not just us saying it. It's not just practitioners saying it. We've been tested a lot of times. The card's amazing.